No. So absolutely, you'll be given with with headsets, individual headsets. You would have to put on the headsets, and you will hear from the start to the end. Okay. So initially, you would be given chances to check whether the headsets are working properly, or if it is faulty one or something, to check about that, and you can definitely, tell the person who is there to invigilate you about if there is any difficulty with regard to the headsets. But when the exam or the test starts, after that you see that there is some fault with your headsets, definitely you would not be allowed to um, change your headsets. You have to bear with it. Okay, so please make sure that your headsets are proper and you are able to hear them very clearly. Please don't be shy, or don't be, quiet to open up and tell that you have a problem with your headset. Okay, so make sure that you're ready. You would be played with some sort of an audio before the test starts so that you could do your checking with your headsets. Okay, so as I said, you will only hear once each audio, and you would not get a second time. At the end of the test, you will have 2 minutes to check your answers. Yes, so as I said, you will get 2 minutes to check. In this part, that is part A, you will hear two different extracts. So there will be two different extracts. In each extract, a health professional is talking to a patient. It could be a GP, it could be any sort of health professional, maybe a dentist, uh, uh, a psychiatrist, anyone, within your profession. And you would have, it would be the same scenario. The health professional will be speaking to the patient. So same, like you will have two extracts. Okay, so in total that is 24 questions. 12, if you divide that, it is 12 questions each. Okay, the questions will be numbered for 1 to 24. You will have to identify the answers during the audio is being played. Okay, so before the extra or the audio during, okay, when the audio starts, it also gives you with instructions, as in which has been mentioned here. Okay, and you would be provided with the questionnaire. So once the audios before the audio starts, there would be a beep, and before the after the beep, you would be provided with a couple of seconds, like 30 seconds, to read through the questionnaires. Okay, the entire questionnaires you can read through, and you can get familiarized with the questions so that you know what you're searching for. Okay, so let's quickly move on to the part A questions. I hope everyone could see the um, questions very clearly. Yes. Okay. Okay. So this is the extract, that is extract 1, that where you have questions 1 to 12. Okay. This is how the questions appear on your questionnaire or your question paper. So you have a pulmonologist talking to a patient called Robert Miller. Okay. So a health professional is talking to a patient called Robert Miller for questions 1 to 12. So for this particular extract, complete the notes with a word or a short phrase. Okay. So you would be provided with an extract. You would be listening to a conversation between a health professional and a patient. Between that, you would have simple a part of the conversation written here. So you have the patient named Robert Miller, You have some sort of headings as such, or onto your left hand side, like symptoms, background details, medical history. If you look onto the left hand side, so that is where it's here. Okay, the medical history, and we go further down. It states previous tests, further actions. These headings actually would help you to where the speaker or the conversation is going through. For example, it will not definitely be giving or stating that while you're speaking that let's talk about the symptoms. No, uh, you know the health professional might ask questions like these. So, could you explain me about your situation? Okay, so they will not be most probably using the same words, so they would be using the synonyms. So you need to grasp that. So you need to be a good listener. You should have an active. You should listen very carefully so to get that. Okay, so when you get these, this is how it has been said. Okay, so when we say about the different way, as I said, you would get 30 seconds to go through the question. So um, with these questions in front of you, how would you go through the questions? So what are you going to do? Okay, or what do you have to do when you get this questionnaire for part A? So that is questions 1 to 24. So when you get that 30 seconds, okay, all we have to do is look at the blank area. Okay, read the entire portion. For example, the second bullet, that is the question number 1, where it states as 1 here. Okay, so it states the question is a persistent a dash cough. Okay, so a persistent dash cough. So this is where you need to fill the blank. Okay, here what you're going to do is this particular area. You're trying to what you're going to try. You're trying to see what would really suit at this particular area. Okay, so basically you're trying to determine what would be the answer at this particular blank. Okay, so this is what you're going to do during your 30 seconds, and it has to be quite fast. Okay, the initial stages, it would take some time. Okay, you need to do some predictions out here. Okay, so let's say what could be the prediction according to you when you look at this particular question, that is persistent dash cough. Okay, what can you predict about this particular blank? Can you suggest me some predictions in your perspective? Yeah. Can I have a quick, a dry cough? Yes, yes. Uh-huh. Dry, yes. Okay. Dry. Okay. Okay. I do see that everybody is having the same answers as a dry. So, Merlin, I say, see, we shouldn't be using, your answer should be, whether it's a dry or not. For example, you shouldn't be writing a cough again. Okay. So, the answer which is required out here is just fill in the blank. Okay. So, this is how we do your predictions. So, it could be dry. It could be some other prediction would be like barking cough. Okay, so some of these are some of the predictions, or maybe hard cough, the soft cough. There are possibilities all this in. So these are some of the predictions which you can have, or you can really imagine to be filled in. Okay, so why I'm asking you to do this prediction is that so you can look for similar words or words during the conversation. So this would really help you to get the right answers in place. Okay. So then we have, okay, the second one, the second question. So let's look at the second question. So that weight loss described as dash in nature. Okay, so could you give me some of your predictions with regards to this particular question? That is the question number two. Gradual in nature. Yes, gradual in nature is a good prediction. Yes, yes. hmm Any other, predictions? Increasing in nature. Yes. hmm Any other predictions? Increasing dry in nature. Weight loss described as dry in nature. Uh, I think, um, weight loss is described. Okay, so it is described in terms of maybe, let's say, in terms of the numbers or the counts. Okay, so I think it should be increasing, decreasing, gradual, steady. Okay, so yeah, yes, Anjana. So that should be something like that. Yes. So different predictions. Yes. So I hope you all are understanding about, yeah, rapid in nature. Yes. Yes. Absolutely right. So different ways of prediction. So this is how you predict things. So what all types of predictions we have to do? For example, let's look at the questions 1 to 12 and let's see how much we can predict on this. Okay. Okay. So the third question, fingertips appear. What could be the prediction to that? Fingertips appear dash. Bluish. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fingertips appears. Maybe you could say hard, pale. Yes, it could be a color, correct? Yes, yes. The prediction should be fingertips appears fingertips appears swollen. Kavita, I think that prediction wouldn't be the right one. Maybe for the fourth one, yes. Okay. Um, it could be swollen. Could be it's a fingertip. Okay. So we are saying about, yeah, it could be something, some sort of something related to color. Okay, but I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it could be. Okay, fingertips appears dry. Okay, there is a possibility. Yes, we can. There is a possibility. Yes, I think. Okay, so different predictions could be here. Okay, so with that, when the you know the patient, so the symptoms normally being either explained by the patient or the questions would be asked. So you need to listen to both of them. Okay, not just to the patient alone. You need to also listen to the health professional as well. Okay, because um, the patient would definitely define the symptoms or the causes or what he has observed during and what has made him to come here to in front of the health professional. Okay, but at times the even the once a patient has already described his detailing of his symptoms, there could be some probing questions which the the health professionals, the professional also would ask. Okay, so you need to not just alone listen to the patient. Also, you need to listen to the health professional as well. Okay, so while you're listening, one more thing which you have to keep in mind is that when you're listening to the audio, so you would not get the same words uh, as in you know let's say they are speaking. For example, the first question, let's say a persistent dry cough. So the while they are speaking, they might not say that in a word like I have a persistent dry cough. Okay, it will not be said like that. So there could be some changes like Um, um, so it could be like this. Maybe it could be in different forms. For example, um, nowadays I'm having a dry cough, but it is persistent during the days and not during the night. So this could be the way they could, they could present these information to you. So you need to be very, very careful. So once in the beginning, you might not be able to get the answers, but with frequent practice, you would be definitely able to get this. Okay. So you need to do a frequent practice, listening practices. So and why I'm telling you is just to have or where to look at or where to concentrate to get the answers. Okay. So you should be expecting these type of conversations. Okay. So then moving on to the background. Okay. Here it talks about previously employed as dash 20 years. So um, again, here also we are sure that the your prediction on this particular thing would be something related to a job profile. Yes, so maybe let's say a banker, an accountant, previously employed as an as okay. So definitely definitely accountant wouldn't be there because if it was an accountant, then previously employed as an accountant. Yeah. So sometimes you can, really get the answers like that. But you can definitely say that previously employed as a banker. Yeah, that is a possibility. Yes. So, this is how you can do now employed as a what? Okay. So it can be different options. So this is something related to, so these blanks are something related to you know, the job. Okay. What the person would be doing. Okay. So, why then you have these other blanks? I mean, there you do have some blanks, and you have no blanks in between. Okay, so why does that is being placed? Okay, this actually would help you where exactly the conversation is at that present time when you're listening. For example, uh, in the beginning you might not be able to go with the correct answering things and things like that because it takes time for you to get with the sequence of the listening. Okay, so these points without the blanks would definitely help you where the conversation is uh, exactly at. For example, if you lose your concentration in between, and if you want to get back to the you know uh, to the audio and to continue with your markings or with your answers, all you have to do is that you have to look into the areas. Okay, the after the blank areas, look at where they are talking about, so you can get an idea where they are. Okay, so then you can go one by one again. Okay, so, what you have to do is like you have to really, really look at each bullet points and see where you are. Okay. So, for which you need to have a very good concentration. Okay. So, coming towards the medical history. Okay. So, last year diagnosed with hypertension. Okay. So, he would say that I was diagnosed last year with hypertension and I was being treated for that. Okay. And my current prescription of dash, so could you all try to predict what could be the answer would be on the seventh question? Could you do your prediction? Current prescription of dash. So do you have any predictions towards that? Anybody? Yeah. Yes. So when you say prescriptions, current prescription. Definitely, a prescription would relate it to a medicine or a medication, right? So, yes. So you should be expecting a medicine is being said or a medication detail has been mentioned your conversation. So this is what a prediction is. Okay, so you need to have an idea by looking through the questions. You will have an idea about what would be the answer to the question. So while listening to the audio, you can actually it would be quite easy for you to get the right short answer or to identify the answers. Okay, so here again, dash sounds in a chest reported by GP. So maybe some sort of sound here. Yes. Okay. For the question number 8, dash sounds. So it is very clear. So some sort of sound, maybe knocking sound or something like that. Okay. Wheezing sound. Yeah, yeah, it could be. So and again, moving on to the ninth one, the father suffered from dash. So here again, as he the patient is mentioning, yeah, suffered from stroke or maybe some sort of disease. Okay. Let's say something related to what his medical condition is. Yeah. So this is also, it is a mixture of when you do the prediction, it is a mixture of the general words and the medical terms. Okay, so you can expect the answers which you would be having is would be two types. One is the normal words or the generic words, and the second one would be the medical terms. For example, a medication, about a test which has been conducted, or maybe these are the two type of answers you would be having. Okay, maybe numbers. It could be numbers as well. Okay, let's say um, it dash uh, in a week. Okay, so twice in a week. Okay, or maybe the dosage. Okay, maybe the dosage of a medicine, um, 2 times a day. So all these things, all these type of answers would be possible when you're doing the listening. Okay, I hope everybody have understood how part A works. Is that clear? Do you have any sort of doubts or any questions for me? Okay, so uh, we would quickly look on to an audio and the answers. Okay, so I would play you with an audio for part A, just for questions 1 to 12. Okay, so I will also display you the questions. So you could look at the screen and also listen to the audio and see if you could answer the questions, okay, correctly. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Okay, so let me prepare you for the same. Okay, are you all able to see the questionnaire? Okay. Okay. Everyone, can you all see the questionnaire? So that is from 1 to 12. Okay, that's good. So let me play you the audio. So be ready, concentrate. Okay, I'm going to play. I haven't played the audio at all. So, Kavita, I still see that not clear. Okay, so I think you can zoom your screen and see if you could see it. Or I think maybe it could be a possibility of um, you're having a maybe a poor connection or something as such. Maybe some interruption in your. How about the rest of you? Are you able to see the questionnaire very clearly? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. The um, thing for the ones you ones for those who are saying that it is not clear, could you just try that once again and see if the if you could move on to the better reception area, so you might be able to see the uh, you know the questionnaires more clearly. Is that okay? So shall I proceed with the audio for you? Okay, are you all still able to see the questionnaire? No. Okay. So don't worry. I'll just start with the. Okay. Don't worry about it. I'll start with the audio and see if you could see the questionnaires. Okay. Give me a minute.
Occupational English Test. Practice Test 3. Listening Test. This test has 3 parts. In each part, you'll hear a number of different extracts. At the start of each extract, you'll hear this sound. You'll have time to read the questions before you hear each extract, and you'll hear each extract once only. Complete your answers as you listen. At the end of the test, you'll have 2 minutes to check your answers. Part A. In this part of the test, you'll hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, a health professional is talking to a patient. For questions 1 to 24, complete the notes with information you hear. Now look at the notes for extract 1. Extract 1, questions 1 to 12. You hear a pulmonologist talking to a patient called Robert Miller. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. Now, looking at your notes, I see you've been having a few problems recently. Could you tell me a little about what's been happening in your own words?
Well, yeah, it's a combination of things, really. To kick off, I feel pretty tired most of the time, just haven't got the energy I used to have.
Right.
And I've got this cough. It's there all the time, and it feels dry. I mean, I'm not coughing up phlegm or blood or anything like that. But the worst thing, which really bothers me, is that I'm so short of breath. Even if I'm just getting dressed in the morning or going up a few steps, I have to stop because I get breathless so quickly. And I've lost quite a bit of weight, too. I mean, I didn't notice at first because it was very gradual, but all in all, I'm about 10 kilos lighter than I was 6 months ago.
Right.
I've not been dieting or anything. I love my food.
Okay. And, well, have you noticed anything else?
Yeah, just take a look at my fingers. The tips look swollen, don't they? And it's the same with my toes, which are bulging out at the end, too. It's weird. And my nails, I don't understand it. They've become soft. They're not hard like they used to be. Look.
Okay, I see what you mean. And tell me a little about yourself. What do you do for a living?
Well, till recently, I worked as a farm laborer. Did it for about 20 years in total. It was hard, physical graft, and it finally got to the stage where I just couldn't cope with it anymore.
Right.
It really took it out of me. So this last couple of years, I've been a security guard, working nights at a local DIY warehouse. It's a bit boring, and the late shifts took a bit of getting used to, but it's okay.
And, are you finding it less physically demanding?
That's right. I just haven't got the stamina now for anything else. In fact, I've even had to give up my golf. Can't manage it anymore. Any spare time now goes on looking after my pigeons. I've done that since I was a teenager.
Oh, very nice. And what about your medical history? Now, I see you were diagnosed with hypertension last year, and you're taking beta blockers at the moment for that.
That's right. My GP said it'd help. Something the GP also said when I saw him about my breathing problems was that he heard what he called crackling noises in my chest.
Okay.
I can't hear them, but he could through the stethoscope.
Okay. And is there any family history of breathing or lung problems or any serious illnesses that you know of?
I don't think so. My mother was always healthy, but my dad developed bad eczema as an adult. I remember the red patches on his hands and face, but he didn't have any lung problems as far as I know.
Right. And, well, looking at your previous tests, you were diagnosed with hypertension about 6 months ago. You had...
an echocardiogram, to check my heart.
Yes.
And a chest x-ray about 4 weeks ago after I saw my GP. That came back okay, as far as I know.
I see.
I'm not keen on hospitals, to be honest. Am I going to need to have lots more tests?
Well, I'm going to suggest you have what's called an arterial blood gas test. This will let us check how well your lungs are working, how they move oxygen into your blood and remove carbon dioxide from it.
Okay.
And I'm also going to order a CT scan. Now, this will be more revealing than the chest x-ray you had. And I may then prescribe a course of corticosteroids. This will depend on what the tests show up. Now, I'd start you on a relatively low dose, and then we'll see how...
Extra.
Okay. I hope, yes, Vipin, I think you have got most of the, okay. So let's quickly, are you able to hear me all? Okay. So let's quickly go through the answers. Okay, I will just read out the answers for you, and let's see how many of you got all correct. Okay, so let's say the first one is dry. The second one is gradual or very gradual. Okay, and the third one, swollen or bulging out. Okay. Number 4, soft. Number 5, farm laborer. farm laborer. Number 6, night security guard, or security guard would do that. That could be the answer, no problems in that. Number 7, beta blockers. Number 8, crackling. And number 9, bad eczema. Number 10, echocardiogram. You can even put echo or cardiac echo. That's absolutely fine. Then we have 11th one, arterial blood gas. So arterial blood gas or ABG. Okay, either arterial blood gas or ABG would be put in as answer. And the 12th one, corticosteroids. The 12th one is corticosteroids. Okay. So I hope crackling, yes. Or you can put it as crack as well. Absolutely fine. Okay. So out of the 12 questions, could you give me your scores? It's okay, it's a lot of stuff. Yes, I do see that people having 12 out of 10. 11, 12, yes. 10, good. That's really good. Okay. Yeah. 12, yeah. Okay. Anjana, the course of corticosteroids, basically, okay, the 4th and 8th answer. Just give me a minute, Malin. Let me just. It's not about asthma. It's the pronunciation, Zema. Okay, that is why I said you need to really get familiarized with different accents. So okay, we have a 4th and 7th one. That is this 4th one's answer is soft. Okay, and let's say the 7th one. Yeah, let me see. 4th and 8th. Okay. The eighth answer is crackling. 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 Okay. Okay. So coming towards it, I do see that quite a few people have acquired. I'm sure that most of you have acquired at least 6 to 7. Yeah. Okay. So 6 to 7. I hope everyone who have listened to it have acquired at least 6 to 7 answers. To begin with, if you are able to get 6 to 7, you are absolutely fabulous. Yes, I would say that you are really good. Okay, so nothing to worry about. Whoever has got the 12, yes. See, these type of listening. Okay, when it comes to listening, there could be different pace of speaking. At times, this pace of speaking could be very fast. Okay, so you need to practice that. So you need to listen to not just the medical, audios. Is the audio still going on? I see that for some it is going on, for some it's not. Okay, let me then close that up. Okay, I think this should get over with everything. Yeah. Okay. See, the thing is, you need to listen to different audios. Okay, depending upon to get familiarizing with different accents, different ways of speech, different pronunciations, and to understand a different pace of speech. Okay, for example, some of the audios could be really fast. Some people speak quite fast, or the pace would be quite higher. So it is, in your listening test, you would not be getting something which is very simple. Yeah, so always expect the unexpected. That is what I always say to my students. So don't expect that your exam would be quite easy. So it would be easy. It would become easy if you really, really work hard. Okay. So all you have to do is practice yourself. So how do you practice? Not just listening to different, listening audios. You listen to different audios. Get familiarized with. We never know what type of audio or what type of accent, what type of pace or what rate of speech would be there on your test day. So the only thing which you could do, or the best thing that you could do, is to familiarize with the different audios, different, pronunciations and things like that. So for that, you might not be able to get the different audios of the same different things in the pertaining to the medical audio. So you could listen to different audios, general audios, maybe talk shows. You can listen to them. How do they express things? If you're able to grasp those words and also to understand what they are saying, it is not just picking up words from them. You also need to understand what they are saying. Okay, you need to basically summarize what he or she is been talking in that conversation. So this is how you get familiarized with different audios. Okay, so these are some of the tips which I would really like to provide you with. So another thing, okay, what some of the other tips which I would like to tell you is that um, when when a speech is being done, okay, when somebody speaks about something, okay, especially we would be able to get words which are being stressed. Okay, when you stress on certain words while speaking, definitely you'll be able to grasp those things. Okay, especially you would get the medical terms, or the medical terms is always been stressed, or you are quite familiar with that. So most of the times you would not miss on any sort of medical terms. You would definitely get it, but the only thing is that the common words, or the general words, generic words, is where most of the candidates find this difficult. So I would really say that if you look at your answers, or if you look at your the answers from 1 to 12, if you see that, I think most of you might have noticed, you were able to get all the medical, you know, words. The people who have missed on the words would be definitely on the generic words, something like coughing, crackling, okay, all these things, because those words are not being stressed while they are speaking. Okay, so that is why I say you have most of us has a problem with grasping the general words. So basically, what you have to do for that, that is why I advise you listen to a generic podcast, generic, speaking and things like that. Okay, so I hope everybody is quite okay with the part A. So do you have any sort of questions with regards to this part A? Okay, do you see that everybody is very fine with the thing? Okay, no, I understand that there are quite a few people who are not new to the OET, so you might be having some sort of experience with the modules and things like that. So, for those who are quite experienced, do you have any questions relating to part A? Maybe to increase any sort of questions for me. how to improvise on the things and things like that. Any questions? No. Okay, so everybody says part A is okay, part A is okay, okay. Okay. Okay, I do have Tina asking me a question. How many words will be maximum for real exam? Okay. See, there is nothing as such. The question states that, or the questionnaire states that you would be having a word or a short phrase. So, not more than, I wouldn't say it's not more than maybe 20 or 25 words, nothing more than that. You can be rest assured that it wouldn't be more than that. Okay. Okay. Lino has a question. Sometimes they are asking some drug name. Write any common drug. Are there? Sometimes they ask some drug name. Right? Any common drugs are there? Okay. Do you mean to say that the most frequently said drugs, is that what you're looking at, Lino? Okay. See, there is nothing like that as such. Uh, so you don't have to really by heart or those type of drug names and things like that. So you don't have to do that. Okay. So all you have to do is to listen to them very carefully. Okay, I understand that most of you would have some sort of difficulty in spelling out the name. Okay. So let me tell you the good news with regards to this, okay, for people who spell things wrong. Okay, okay. Um, you don't have to really spell the word correctly. OET does not is not using or looking into that. Okay, whether your spelling is correct or not. All they are looking at is whether you are, writing the right sound. Okay, let me give you a quick example. For example, let's say um, physiotherapy. Okay, let's take the word physiotherapy. Okay, so a person who does not know the spelling of the physiotherapy, could you just tell me what is the physiotherapy spelling starts with? Could you give me and let me see if you all know about it. I'm sure that you all know about it. Yes, P. Yes, P. It starts with P. Yes. So uh, that's right. Yes. So physiotherapy is something like that. Yes. You all spelled it right, and you said a P. Yes. Okay, let's say the person, you are a person who does not know the spelling of physiotherapy. Okay. For a person like that, definitely he or she would. The sound is how it is. It's with F. Yes, it's absolutely right if you write it with F. So I'm not saying that. Since you're from a medical background, definitely, physiotherapy is a common word, so don't make any mistakes to that. But what I'm saying is that to certain drugs, okay, mm, let's say eczema, okay, that also you can definitely make mistakes with the spelling. So all they are looking at is the sound, whether your spelling gives the right sound to that particular word. Okay, that is what OET is assessing you with. Whether you have the good listening skill or not in part A. They are not looking at the correct spelling. Okay, so you do not have to worry about the spelling. Even if your spelling is wrong, it's absolutely fine, as long as it sounds the same. It sounds as the pronounce as the word has been pronounced. Okay, like as I said, physiotherapy. Okay, even if you write as let's say FISO. Okay, P. I mean PC. Okay, SYO. Okay, physio and therapy. It's fine because it gives you the sound. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, and so don't go and write it on the exam date when it has been said as physiotherapy. Don't you all write it as such. Okay, so certain drugs and things like that. If you even if you miss on if you don't have the correct spelling, at least you have the correct sound being placed. That is what you're looking at. Okay. So any further questions? I hope you understood what I meant to say. Instead of two words, what if I write one word? Okay. So that again depends upon the blank or the words before that and after that. Okay. But again, what you have to do is like the words before that and after that. For example, as I said, English is also very necessary here. Okay, you need to have the right grammatical expressions, and you need to use the right grammatical ways while you're writing this. Okay, um, um, for example, let's say you have uh, uh, you have an extension. Okay, to your for example, let's say okay, and let's look at um, crack. Okay, so let's look at that one, the word crack. Okay, in this particular context, crack. Okay, look at let's see what is the answer. Crack is basically the answer. Crackling is okay. 8. Okay, so let's all look at question number. Are you able to see the question number 8? Are you able to see question number 8? No. Okay. So let me put on to the sharing. Okay, are you able to see that right now? Okay, 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 yes. I hope everybody can see that. So please look at question number 8 here. Okay, so question number 8 states, dash sound is chest reported by GP. Okay, okay, so dash is, okay, dash sound. Okay, BG, when you say crackles, does that comprehend with the word next to it? No. So basically, we need to be using the right, the expression, okay, of the words. If you just write crack sound, so does that comprehend the word? Okay, no. So basically, you have to comprehend the word as well. Okay, like writing crackling. Okay, so this is how you are not just listening to the audio, and also you are also actually applying the right, comprehending word as well. The right phrase, yes, writing the phrase. So basically, maybe on the audio, it just says that it showed a crack sound while the GP was while speaking. Yes, definitely that would comprehend. Okay, so while speaking, maybe crack might comprehend the word, but on the questionnaire, you have a question, or you have a word next after that. So you need to actually comprehend that by using the right phrase. Okay, like crackling. Yes, it is called gerund. Absolutely right. Yes, Vipin. So I think I'm trying to make it. I don't want to use a bigger word so that people don't understand me. Okay, so we can please excuse me for that. Okay, you're absolutely fine with writing the short words. Absolutely fine, A, B, G, because that's a medical term. Okay, you got it. Okay, so okay, so I hope Vipin, you understood why I'm using very quite short phrase or short not that specific words for the same. Okay, it's because I want to give a better understanding to the others who don't understand what I say. Okay, so that is why I'm trying to make it as simple as it is possible for the others to understand me and to understand what we are discussing today. Okay, so are you all clear with the the listening part? Do you have any questions? I think even though we just had thing like I asked you you had any questions, then still we had questions. So please think and see if you have any further questions, because maybe after this we would go through after maybe tomorrow we would try just with practice sessions. So we can completely dedicate the time for the practice sessions. So that is why I'm asking you. So, if you have any questions relating to the listening in part A. Okay. So the basic intent is that in part A, you have 24 questions, as I've said. So to attain a B, I would say in part A, at least you should score 18 minimum. Okay, I would recommend 20 would be the the par which you could keep for. Okay, so attaining 18 is just the par. Okay, so at least a minimum of 18, and 20 would be you were in the safe zone. Okay, so try to acquire 20 answers, or try to acquire or to score 20 scores in your part A. Okay, so would you like me to play the part A second extract so that you could do it by yourself? Okay, okay. So we would. Are you all ready? Okay. So let me share the second extract for you. Okay. So let me get back to the audio. I will share the um, the questionnaire to you. Just give me a minute while I prepare the audio for you. Okay.
Toes, which are bulging out. I just haven't got the stamina now for stethoscope.
Okay. And, well, look, let us check how well.
Extract 2.
Okay. Are you all ready? And I'm going to share you with the
Extract 2. Questions 13 to 24. You hear an eye specialist talking to a patient called Jasmine Burton, who has recently undergone eye surgery. For questions 13 to 24, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
I've got your notes here, Mrs. Burton, but as we're meeting for the first time, could you begin by telling me a little about your eyesight and the treatment you've had over the years? Did you wear glasses as a child, for example?
Yes, since I was about 7. My parents were concerned by the way I held a book when I was reading, so they took me to an optometrist. He told them I had some kind of astigmatism.
Am I right in assuming that's myopic rather than hyperopic?
Well, yes, I'm nearsighted, if that's what you mean.
That's right. Some people actually have mixed astigmatism. They're far-sighted in one eye and near in the other.
Oh, well, that's not me.
Right.
And as well as my astigmatism, as you probably noticed, my eyes flicker. I'm not aware of it myself, but other people comment on it sometimes. I think you call it nystagmus. It meant that when I had my eye surgery, they preferred to use a general rather than a local anaesthetic.
OK, so did anyone ever tell you what they thought might have caused the condition?
Well, I was once told that my generally poor eyesight is most probably down to the fact that I don't have enough pigment in my eye.
Right.
On the whole, my eyes have never really caused me any significant difficulties, however. I've always had to wear glasses, so that's part of life now. I suppose the only thing is that driving's always been out of the question. I'd never have passed the sight part of the test. That's probably a good thing because it takes me some time to focus, which could make me pretty dangerous if I was ever behind the wheel of a car.
Yes, indeed.
Also, I'm useless at sports like tennis. I think that's because I'm poor at judging the distance between myself and the ball. That was a pain as a teenager, but I've never particularly wanted to play since then. And I've hardly had any issues at work because of my sight. I'm a receptionist in a hotel, and I've never had any difficulty reading computer screens or anything, fortunately.
You've had your eyes regularly checked throughout your life, presumably.
Yeah, that's right, every couple of years. My prescription has changed a little over time, but not that much. Though I certainly couldn't manage without reading glasses these days. About 3 years ago, I was told a cataract was developing in my right eye.
Right.
It was a few years before they decided to remove it. That was this February, and it all went very smoothly.
Good. And you were pleased with the result?
Yeah, I was, thrilled. If only all our failing parts could be replaced so easily. However, when I had the routine checkup a couple of weeks after the operation, I was told there was some clouding, opacity?
Opacity, yeah.
I think was the word they used, in the capsule containing the new lens. It's a bit disappointing. They could clear it with a laser if it gets to be a real problem, but my flicker makes that rather a risky option. I knew that there's a greater chance of developing a detached retina after a cataract op.
Yes.
But I'm glad to say they found there wasn't any evidence of that in my case.
Oh, good.
All they did was make an appointment for me to be checked out again in 6 months' time. But they said I should get in touch if I felt concerned about my eyes.
And is that what brings you here today?
Yeah, because I am bothered about a couple of things. So firstly, I've noticed more floaters than usual.
Right.
I don't know if that's something to worry about or not. More annoying is the fact that I'm much more troubled by glare than I used to be, so I wanted to ask your opinion on that.
OK, well, let's start by...
That is the end of...
Okay, so I hope that you all got the hang of this particular extract. Okay, so would you like to discuss the answers straight away? Okay, let's discuss the answers. Or do you feel that you want to? Yes. See, this is another type of extract which you're going to get in your exams within. So, we can't really. Again, the thing is, that is, again, depending upon the accent. Okay, as I said, this is one of the type which you might get while you're doing your test. Okay, so the first thing is you have to do is, as I said earlier, familiarize with these type of conversations. Definitely, then I would definitely play that once again and see if you could try to grasp more, words. So I do see that. I'm sure that from 1 to 12, it would be quite hard for most of you to pick up the words, because she was very fast, especially the normal words, or maybe even the pronunciation was difficult. So this is one of the Australian accents which they use. So you need to get familiarized with this. Okay. For which you need to listen to different accents and different things. Not just the medical, audios, but with the audios. This is what I suggest to most of my students to do, so that you equip yourself or you familiarize with different types of accents and different types of paces while on speaking. Okay. So, would you want to discuss the answer first, or would you want to listen to the audio again? Then we would discuss the answer. How do you want to do that? Okay, I think again, audio again. Yep. Play again. Okay, yep. I would play that again. Okay.
That came back okay, as far as I know.
I see. Ray you had, and steroids. This will depend on what quarter.
Okay, you're
Extract
ready?
2. Questions 13 to 24. You hear an eye specialist talking to a patient called Jasmine Burton, who has recently undergone eye surgery. For questions 13 to 24, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
I've got your notes here, Mrs. Burton, but as we're meeting for the first time, could you begin by telling me a little about your eyesight and the treatment you've had over the years? Did you wear glasses as a child, for example?
Yes, since I was about 7. My parents were concerned by the way I held a book when I was reading, so they took me to an optometrist. He told them I had some kind of astigmatism.
Am I right in assuming that's myopic rather than hyperopic?
Well, yes, I'm nearsighted, if that's what you mean.
That's right. Some people actually have mixed astigmatism. They're far-sighted in one eye and near in the other.
Oh, well, that's not me.
Right.
And as well as my astigmatism, as you probably noticed, my eyes flicker. I'm not aware of it myself, but other people comment on it sometimes. I think you call it nystagmus. It meant that when I had my eye surgery, they preferred to use a general rather than a local anaesthetic.
OK, so did anyone ever tell you what they thought might have caused the condition?
Well, I was once told that my generally poor eyesight is most probably down to the fact that I don't have enough pigment in my eye.
Right.
On the whole, my eyes have never really caused me any significant difficulties, however. I've always had to wear glasses, so that's part of life now. I suppose the only thing is that driving's always been out of the question. I'd never have passed the sight part of the test. That's probably a good thing, because it takes me some time to focus, which could make me pretty dangerous if I was ever behind the wheel of a car.
Yes, indeed.
Also, I'm useless at sports like tennis. I think that's because I'm poor at judging the distance between myself and the ball. That was a pain as a teenager, but I've never particularly wanted to play since then. And I've hardly had any issues at work because of my sight. I'm a receptionist in a hotel, and I've never had any difficulty reading computer screens or anything, fortunately.
You've had your eyes regularly checked throughout your life, presumably.
Yeah, that's right, every couple of years. My prescription has changed a little over time, but not that much. Though I certainly couldn't manage without reading glasses these days. About 3 years ago, I was told a cataract was developing in my right eye.
Right.
It was a few years before they decided to remove it. That was this February, and it all went very smoothly.
Good. And you were pleased with the result?
Yeah, I was, thrilled. If only all our failing parts could be replaced so easily. However, when I had the routine checkup a couple of weeks after the operation, I was told there was some clouding. Opacity?
Opacity, yeah.
I think was the word they used. In the capsule containing the new lens. It's a bit disappointing. They could clear it with a laser if it gets to be a real problem, but my flicker makes that rather a risky option. I knew that there's a greater chance of developing a detached retina after a cataract op.
Yes.
But I'm glad to say they found there wasn't any evidence of that in my case.
Oh, good.
All they did was make an appointment for me to be checked out again in 6 months' time. But they said I should get in touch if I felt concerned. Appointment for me to be checked out again in 6 months' time. But they said I should get in touch if I felt concerned about my eyes.
And is that what brings you here today?
Yeah, because I am bothered about a couple of things. So firstly, I've noticed more floaters than usual. I don't know if that's something to worry about or not. More annoying is the fact that I'm much more troubled by glare than I used to be. So I wanted to ask your opinion on that.
OK, well, let's start by...
Okay, I hope that you were able to grasp a bit more answers in this particular by listening to the second time to the audio. Yeah. So can we quickly look at the answers? Okay. So I'll just read out the answers for you. So that is question number 13 is myopic. It's MYOPIC, or you can write short-sighted or nearsighted. Okay, so you can have 3 answers. That is myopic, short-sighted, nearsighted. Okay, and 14. You can have again 2 answers here. That is flicker, FLICKER, or Nystagmus, NYSTAGMUS. Okay, Nystagmus. Okay, and yes, 15 is pigment in eye. Pigment in eye is the answer to it. 16, driving. 17 is focus. 18 is distance. Okay. 19 is hotel receptionist. It's not just receptionist, it should be hotel receptionist. Okay. 20 is cataract developed. Okay. So it is not just cataract developed. Okay. 21 is either clouding or opacity. Okay, either clouding or opacity. You can have 2 answers. 22 is detached retina. 22 is detached retina. Okay. 23 is floaters. You can be a bit more specific in that, eye floaters. Okay. Then 24 is glare or bright lights. Okay, glare or bright lights. Okay, so maybe let's quickly look at those questions as well. Okay, so let's say Okay, were you able to get the answers even after the second time as well? 11, 11. Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. 7, 8. Okay, fine. 10. Yeah, yeah. 9. Yeah, good. 5. Okay. Okay, people who haven't gotten has got maybe nothing up at all, or maybe less than 5 or 6, nothing. Don't worry about it, because I understand. It is quite difficult to understand. We are not used to these type of accent and English, and especially on the higher side. So don't be disappointed. Okay, don't see that this is not your piece of cake, but all requires to attain something, or to attain some skills, or to attain about different type of speaking. Yeah, we all require practicing, correct? Let's take the simple example of we all speak Malayalam, right? Okay, but when in certain Malayalam we don't understand, we all state that we are from local languages Malayalam, and certain Malayalam with certain slangs we don't even understand. Okay, so does that make as that we don't know Malayalam? No, we do Malayalam, but it's certain slangs and things like that we are not quite used to it. But it is not an end to us. It is always we need to. If you do a bit of more practice, you would be able to get the hang of it. So nothing to worry about at all. Okay. So let's quickly let's say yeah. Okay. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. So do you require any sort of, clarification in the second one? Do you have any sort of questions with regards to the second extract or part A? If you're all fine, we can try to move on to part C. I'm not so sure we would be able to do that completely, but we would try the best. Okay. So can we move on to part C? If you have any questions, please do ask with regards to part A. Okay, okay. So let's quickly then move on to part C. Okay. So let me. Okay. So speaking about part B. Okay. So let's say I hope you all can see the screen. Okay. 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 Yeah. Got it. Okay. So part C. In part C, you will hear 6 different extracts. So basically, you'll have 6 questions. Okay. And you will hear people talking in different healthcare settings. Okay, as I said, you have 6 questions. In For all the 6 questions, you will be having 6 audios which is played to you. Okay, and you will have to there will be questions placed on each question, and you will have multiple choices to select which one it is. Okay. In part B, what you would be doing in part A, what you did is like you all tried to pick up the words from the extract, right? Basically, by listening to it, you try to pick up the words which to fill in the blank. Out here, okay, what you would be doing is, okay, I'll just disconnect the audio. Give me a minute. Okay. Okay. So with regards to part B, okay, part B, here what you're going to do is, okay, again, you would be given some time before the audio, all the 6 audios are being played. Okay, you can go through the questions, you can go through the options, and here you don't have to do any predictions. Okay, so don't set any sort of predictions here, because that this is where your mind could play a trick on you. Okay, if you read the question and if you go with the options, your mind or your brain could play a trick on you. Your brain, automatically picks up the answer and fixes that answer. So even though when you listen to the audio, you might not be able to get the right answer or pick up the right answer, because you would be looking for the mindset answer in that audio. Okay, you will not be looking for the answer. So what I would really suggest is that you read the question, understand the question. While the audio is going on, read through the options in part B. Okay. Or see, it is up to you whether you want to do it or not. You try different options. You read the question, you read the options, and you understand the question first. That is the first thing. Okay. You need to really understand each and every question. For example, let's take the question number 25 here. You hear a nurse briefing a colleague at the end of her shift. Okay. So this is again, something related to the healthcare environment. So the question is, what does the colleague have to do for the patient tonight? Okay. Maybe the the patient, the nurse, while briefing, would be giving a lot of explanation or a lot of things which has to be done or to be done. So basically, what you have to do is you need to, from the speaking, what is you need to understand the gist. Basically, the word gist means you need to, from the total, you need to understand what does the nurse want her colleague to do. Okay, that is what you should be looking at. So it wouldn't be said directly there. So you need to have, or you need to get an understanding from the conversation. Okay, you would not have any sort of words or anything which has been placed, or even the nurse would not be a briefing or saying that you have to do this. Okay, directly. Okay, I'm saying that she wouldn't be saying directly that you have to do this. All she would be saying is she will be briefing the colleague. You need to understand from the extract what does the nurse want his colleague to do, okay, to the patient tonight. Okay, so let's listen to the audio. Okay, are you all ready? Okay.
Concerned about my eyes.
And is that what?
Thing a colleague at the end of her shift. 25 to 30, Choose the answer A, B or C which fits best according to what you hear. You'll have time to read each question before you listen. Complete your answers as you listen. Now look at question 25. You hear a nurse briefing a colleague at the end of her shift. Now read the question.
Okay, so the next thing is about Susie Williams in bed 3.
Right.
She's been admitted for chest pain to rule out MI. So far, she had an EKG, which was okay, and the first set of cardiac enzymes and troponins are negative. When she came in, her blood pressure was elevated a little, like 182/95, but she was given losartan, and at 6 o'clock it was 142/82. She was also dehydrated, so we started her on IV fluids. D5, half normal saline, running at 125 millilitres. That can go until midnight and then it can be disconnected. She's scheduled for a stress test tomorrow and some more enzyme tests. Okay?
Okay.
Question 26. You hear part of a hospital management meeting where a concern is being discussed. Now read the question.
Okay, I hope you all got the question. So what could be the answer? Yes, absolutely right. Spot on. Yes, you have the answer is A. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely good. Okay. So from the question, okay, when you read through the question, the first thing you should look at is what does the colleague have to do for the patient? Okay, it is for the person. You need to understand the question very clearly, and you should be looking for those answers. Clear? Okay, shall I play with a part B, question number 26? Okay. Hope you're all ready.
Question 26. You hear part of a hospital management meeting where a concern is being discussed. Now read the question.
Now I'll hand over to Jenny, who has a few words to say about staffing. Jenny?
Thanks. Now, if we compare ourselves to other hospitals of the same size in other regions, we're actually recording lower rates of staff turnover. That's just as well, given the challenges filling vacant positions across the sector. Where we do compare unfavorably is in the number of days lost to sick leave. That's making it hard to maintain full cover on the wards, and we all know the costs of that. As a matter of urgency, then, HR are looking into the worst affected areas to understand the reasons behind it and to see if there's anything we can do to help and support the staff involved.
Question 27. You hear a GP.
Okay. Please tell me what could be the answer. Yes. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, everybody say C, 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 C. Everybody says C. Okay, so yeah, the answer is right. The answer is C. So how did it, come into C for people who have got it wrong? Not to worry. Again, see, uh, basically, what does the committee is concerned about? In the beginning itself, it states that, see, it doesn't really state the same word as it is in there in the, um, uh, in the choices. For example, relatively high staff absence rate. You would not get the same word there, while they are doing their speaking. Okay, while during the audio, you will have to get the idea, you need to understand, or you need to get the idea of that particular speaker. That is what you are going to do in part B. Okay, so that is what you should be doing. So for that, again, you need to have, to get a good understanding, you need to have like a good understanding of English. You need to familiarize with different accents, again, different ways of speaking and things like that. Okay, so shall we move on to part B, question number 27? Okay.
And to see if there's anything we can do to help and support the staff involved.
Question 27. You hear a GP and his practice nurse discussing a vaccination program. Now read the question.
It's coming up to that time of year when we have to start preparing for the flu vaccination programme.
Yes, we usually do it at the start of next month, don't we?
That's right. If you remember last year, we hired a local hall and did as many people as we could in one afternoon.
Yes, I just started working here then. It was a hectic couple of hours, but it worked pretty well, don't you think?
Sure, but there's been so much publicity recently about how sensible it is to get the jab that I suspect we'll have a lot more people coming along this year.
So we better think about taking on an agency nurse, perhaps, to lend an extra hand.
OK, let's run that by the practice manager. And she might have some other suggestions too.
Question 28. You hear two hospital nurses discussing.
Okay. Okay, would you like to listen to the audio once again? Because I do see that most of you have got the answers as wrong. Okay, so let's once again listen to the audio.
Publicity recently about how sensible it is coming up to that time of year when we
Support the staff involved.
Question 27. You hear a GP and his practice nurse discussing a vaccination program. Now read the question.
It's coming up to that time of year when we have to start preparing for the flu vaccination programme.
Yes, we usually do it at the start of next month, don't we?
That's right. If you remember last year, we hired a local hall and did as many people as we could in one afternoon.
Yes, I just started working here then. It was a hectic couple of hours, but it worked pretty well, don't you think?
Sure, but there's been so much publicity recently about how sensible it is to get the jab that I suspect we'll have a lot more people coming along this year.
So we better think about taking on an agency nurse, perhaps, to lend an extra hand.
OK, let's run that by the practice manager. And she might have some other suggestions too.
Question 28. You hear two hospital nurses.
Okay, I hope this time we got the answer. Okay, we have different opinions. Okay, so let me just quickly say that the answer is C. Yeah, so the answer is C. It states that prepare to cope with an increasing demand for it. In the beginning itself, they are stating that this is time for this particular epidemic, right? So, and they need to prepare for it. So that is where it all comes in. And see, the total conversation. What does the total conversation state? Last time they had something, and this time they are expecting more. So they need to prepare, to increase the demand or for the increased demand. Okay, that is what the whole speaking or the context, the gist of the extract is all about. So that is why the answer is C. See, make sure patients are aware of it. No, it doesn't say anything anywhere that the patient should be aware of it from that total understanding. Yeah, so organize it more effectively than in the past. Yes, that could be a possibility where it stated that a nurse needs to be employed, or a head nurse, or a staff nurse to be there to help them out. But ultimately, they were trying to prepare for the upcoming situation. That is why the answer is C there. I hope everybody is quite clear about the answer. Yeah. Okay. So in part B, see, when you're listening, when you're doing your listening or reading or anything as such, okay, it is absolutely very important that you apply skills, okay, for listening. For here, you're not looking at the words, okay. What you're trying to do is trying to understand the gist of the extract. If you're looking for the words, definitely you would not get the answer to the question. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to look for the the total understanding or the gist of the particular extract or the audio. Okay, so here is what you have to do in part B. All you have to do, you will not be looking for words, or you will not be looking for synonyms. You will not be looking for any sort of things like that. But you are trying to understand what they are talking about with the whole, considering or with the whole conversation. It is not just with one word, with the whole conversation. Okay. So again, here it's what I really see is that if we got two answers correct, how to select one? Like now B and C. Okay. What is being okay? We've been. It's a good question. Okay. How do we select the right one? Absolutely right. So where does this particular conversation focus more on? That is where your priority should be in part B. Okay. They are stating that towards the end they require to be a bit more organized than the last year. Yes. That is what we have a confusion in B. Okay, but the whole gist of the extract is that they need to cope up with the increasing demand. They're saying that in the beginning they say that yes, they last year this much is they had taken a room or an area, okay, to do the to cope up with this particular situation. The answer is saying that it is going to increase. Yes, okay. So looking at the whole, you need to pick up the answer. Okay, this is what you're taking the gist of the particular extract. Okay, you're not looking at particular words here. Okay, so you need to really go with the skill of listening. Part B, please keep in your mind that you have to understand the whole gist of the extract, not just the word. Okay, with practice, you do it again and again and again, you will understand. See, the basic requirement when you're doing with these modules, different parts, that is part A, part B, part C, is applying the right skill for each part. Okay, so applying again. Another tip which I would like to provide you with is, see, most of the questions, if you see a question here, question number 25, you have a question with a question mark. The other two questions were, with it didn't have any question marks. Yes, it was just a full stop. Okay, it is a statement. You're looking for a statement. That is a statement. See, most of the time, the question with a question mark is a direct question. Okay, so you need to have that in mind. The direct questions, most of the times, you get the answers in a word, within a word. But for an indirect or for a statement, you get the answers from different statements, for different words or different sentences. Okay, so that is another example or another tip which I would like to provide you with the listening skill. Okay, in general, I'm saying, okay, it's not applicable for every time, but in general, this is what happens. So the questions with the question mark is a direct question. We need to differentiate the different type of questions. That's one with a direct question, another is a statement question. Okay, so basically, a direct question, the answer will be in one particular statement or one particular sentence. You need to figure out or understand that particular um sentence, and you will get the answer. In the first question, if you try to recollect, you would be able to understand that. Do you have any questions pertaining to this, Ken? Okay, let's quickly look at the question number 1. Okay, here we say that, okay, let's look at the question number 27, Vipin. Okay, so here we took the information, or we got the understanding from different sentences. Am I right, Vipin? For the question number 27? Yes, okay. So can we look at question number, let's say, 25? Okay. Can you see question number 25? Can you all see? Yeah, okay. Let me share this again. Yes, can you see it right now? Okay. So the question here was, what does the colleague have to do for the patient tonight? Okay, can you try to recollect the audio? This particular, the answer to this was A, right? So answer to this was A, and it was in the first statement or the first sentence where you got this answer from. Am I right? So you understood from that particular sentence. Your understanding was from the first sentence. It was a direct question. Okay, so I hope everybody understood what I meant to say. Okay, so this is how you approach the part B questions. Okay, but at times there are situations where you have a direct question, but you would not be getting the answer from that particular sentence. Oh, in the maybe we would do with the questions, those questions tomorrow. Okay, with this, I would like to end today's session of part B. Okay, I would open up the session for you to ask any further questions or any such questions pertaining to part B or part A. So it's an open session for you to raise up your questions. Any further questions? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions until now? For that is part A and part B. Clear. Okay. So what I want you all to do is today, when you get time, please go ahead and practice what we have discussed today and what you have acquired today. Okay. So all you have to do is practice with different things, and also um, not just practicing the listening skills alone. Okay, by using your the audio and with the let's say um, the questions, not just that. Okay, people who are new to this, to OET, the first thing you need to do, as I suggested, listen to different accents, get familiarized with these accents and different ways of speech, the pace, different the paces which they use, okay, different pronunciations, all these things. Try to familiarize that first, so that you can do the things very easily. After you familiarize with all these things, it is just the matter of applying the skills towards the listening process or the listening questions. Okay, so try to acquire that first. So we all do that. So let me quickly, tell you an example of we all. I hope most of you know how do we do our. Most of you might be knowing how to do cycling. Yes, so bicycle basically. So when we all started, yes, did we just get on and started, riding the cycle? No. First, what we acquired is try to attain a balance. Yes, to balance ourselves. Then we started with the cycling. Is that right? So it's the same way. Okay. All first you need to acquire, or in this listening, is to familiarize with the the language or the different ways of speaking or different accents. Then we would apply the skills which is required for each module. Okay. So try that, and I hope today's session was quite. It was all beneficial to you. If you do have any questions, please ask me during the session, or you can just put in a comment on the IRS Group Facebook page. If you're not logged in, you can log into there, and we have very short sessions with these listening, speaking, reading, and writing sessions on this particular, webinar. IRS also is having dedicated classes being conducted for all the students who require furthermore, day-to-day practices, and with more materials and more, um, you know, experienced staff would be taking you through with different modules, and you would be able to get a good, um, hands-on training for the same. So for that, you may contact our IRS group number, and they would be able to explain you about, how you could get an individual attention training for yourself and for your colleagues. So whoever is interested, you can get along or get in touch with IRS group. Okay. So with that, I'm winding up today's session. Have a good day ahead, and I wish you all the best once again. Yeah, thank you very much.